Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Eight at the Table. Today we have our guest. She is a divorce attorney, Miss Fawn Dyer.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself. Let them know where they can find you, anything you got going on.
All right. Well, my name is Fawn Dyer. I'm a divorce attorney. My office is in Westfield, New Jersey, and you can find me on TikTok at attorney_Fawn.
So before we jump into the segment, we definitely got to say shout out to Lamar Trucking Sales or Lamar Truck Sales, right? He is actually our sponsor for today. Thank you. What he does is, yeah, raise the roof. What he does is he does financing with trucks, so buys and sells. So if you do or if you want to get into that business, definitely recommend him. I do know that on his Instagram, he says he's located out of Elizabeth, New Jersey, one of his sites. But yeah, his Instagram is Lamar Truck Sales. So you can go ahead and see Lamar if you need help with your truck.
Can you talk about the financial implications of divorce and why people may avoid divorce for the financial
Right.
implications?
Yeah, people stay married because they can't afford to have two homes, and we're in New Jersey. It's expensive.
As fuck.
It's an understatement. It's very expensive. So it's really hard for the people to have two separate places. So we see people staying together. We saw it during COVID. We saw it even in the Great Recession. So I guess I don't know what else to say. Yeah, we do see that a lot.
Do you think because the cost of living is so high now and incomes, salaries, whatever, have not increased in proportion to the increases of the cost of living? Do you see any trends with that when it comes to your practice and people getting divorced or, coming to you for a divorce and they're like, you know what? I'm good.
I think when they see how much it costs to get divorced, if you use an attorney, then they will really look at, let me wait, or they really have to think about it. Because if you're paying by the hour, which most of the time you are going to be, and you start arguing, and you're going to argue for a long time, that can be costly. And they don't want to spend all that money, so they're like, well, let me see if maybe it'll work out. Or if they're the one thinking of filing, maybe I don't file. I'm going to see if they file. Let's see how bad it is, Or they want to wait till the other side is going to be less adversarial. I had a client say that, or potential client say that recently, where it was like, well, I want to file, but I got to make sure he's not at a place where he's going to, put me through the ringer, because he had like $20,000, like way much more money.
Mm-hmm.
And she, was not the moneyed person. So she really had to think about, should I do this?
Do you think? Oh, go ahead, Rico.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Many questions. But my first one is, do you know offhand, or if you had to give a roundabout number, what is the average cost of a divorce?
Ooh. It's hard to say, because I don't want to misrepresent out there.
Not average, do median.
Yeah.
Not even that, because it really depends. I mean, you're always going to have some attorneys that are going to be on the low end. I'm not saying that you're going to find that. But then you're going to find, if you're truly doing by the hour, I mean, it's not unusual. You're going to be in the $20,000 range.
God damn it.
Not if you're going to argue.
And is that
We staying married.
because of assets, or is that because
No, that's the cost, my boy.
no? But I mean, the more assets you have, or the more things you have together as a couple, does that increase it at all?
It's just how difficult people are.
And so it's basically how difficult
How long
they are.
How long do you want to argue, or how you want to fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can fight until the money's out. That's really kind of the way some people.
Damn, so how do women my question is, women that, let's say they haven't worked or they weren't working throughout the relationship,
Because it's our money.
so they take it, motherfucker. So they take, what? I can't do
Can
the
you
second
say
one.
the sentence? Well, like, what are
I
you?
can't do
I
it.
know
like,
what he was saying. He's like, where do they get the money?
Where are they getting the money from? And then really it's like you're taking the money from the guy who's working to pay for the divorce.
Well, most of them, that happens. That's very common. They borrow it. They get family members to at least get it started. And then usually what happens is they're going to run up a bill. And then at some point, the family is going to pay for it.
Whose family? The
The-
son.
Their
the
family,
family,
them,
the
which
u-
means the
family
guy,
unit.
whoever,
It's going to come out the assets or
or the new
No,
guy.
That's a
it's
good
gonna
one.
come out the
Wait, no.
marriage
Wait,
property.
have you seen that before?
The new guy paying for the divorce.
oh yeah, there's new guys and new women who pay for child support.
I've seen that stupid
Child
shit.
support.
Is that a Jersey thing? Because that's not the case.
I
Those
actually
those
seen
are
that.
personal obligations that don't bleed over into like.
You'd be
the marriage.
surprised how many people are paying other people's domestic obligations
Yeah,
because
I
they
actually heard it for the
they
first time.
feel in love
one of those.
with
You said you'll
Oh,
take
they're
one of
doing it
those.
voluntarily.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna
I'll
say
take
that can't be statutory.
I'll take one of those.
They're doing it.
I mean, the child support thing that's a little odd. But I could imagine the new person like, all right, you need help with these lawyer fees. You need help, paying to get this divorce done. I'm gonna help you get it done. Like I can see that. Like you just coming into a situation and say, oh, I'm gonna pay your child support. I don't understand that.
And the problem with the new person paying for it is now they want to come to the meeting and kind of run things, and they can't legally. They're not able to do that, but that's what happens. I mean,
Oh,
but
that
you gotta
is
think
real
about it.
messy.
People feel like if I'm paying, I'm saying. That's kind of how they look at it.
Play.
So it
Nah,
does.
you just gotta pay under the table, my brother. That's it. Just slide the money. That's it.
Well, that happens too. I mean, as long as the money comes legally,
Y'all pay this bill.
Yeah.
Basically.
He said, I'm
As long as I'm paid.
no one's going to argue over that part of it. But that is true. That's what a lot of people are making arrangements with their new person or whomever to pay back. But what I also see is that the new person in the relationship, sometimes they don't last as long as the whole divorce process.
Wow.
And I have had a client that had like multiple, like we were on third boyfriend and we still not divorced yet. And so, it's really, you have to be careful not to divulge with so much because you don't know who they know. And now that person now has all this information and I don't really like to talk. I mean, if they want me to talk to that person or they want to have them in the room, fine. But I will really tell people, don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to point out that you have to like bank your money. You're not paying in arrears for a divorce, right? I don't
Right.
think, yeah. So you
So
have to have
you're-
your money up front.
You're going to pay a
Retainer.
large retainer
Yeah.
of some sort, which could be $5,000, $7,500 to get started. And then that you're going to think of it like playing spades or whatever. You got the kitty. You're going to take it. It's basically, that's the kitty. And then you're going to use it.
And then when you get to a certain number, not when you get to zero, you get to a certain number, you got to
You got to
re-up.
re-up.
That red light goes off. You were getting broke.
Yeah. So like you really gotta have money because people and I'm only saying this because people throw out the fact that people are just getting divorced like it's just an easy thing. No one's getting married to get divorced because off rip you have to have a certain amount of money that you can front in order to get a divorce.
Yep.
No one's taking divorce contingency cases. Nobody's letting you pay in arrears.
In fact, that's illegal. In New Jersey.
In Jersey, see, it makes sense because it's a family matter.
Yeah.
Um.
And there's never a winner or loser.
Right.
Really.
It makes sense. I mean,
everybody loses a little bit.
What? You just told me this nigga got cheated on. And he lost a lot of, and she did well.
I'll tell you about that though. He didn't want too much inquiry into his business affairs. And she knew that.
So she had blackmail.
I didn't say that. But that happens a lot too. People have businesses in a divorce. Well, show me all your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't show it to me, well, we're going to go subpoena it. We're going to go get forensic accountants. We're going to look into all of that to see what you have. So he was like, well, I'll just write a check. How much to make you go away, kind of.
Wow.
Instead of having an inquiry and then having potential, IRS questions because you filed some things and maybe that's not exactly
I
what
don't like some
truth
people.
is.
Those type of people I don't like.
So,
You know what? I have a question. So a lot of times people talk about, obviously they're like YouTube lawyers, but they talk about how it's so easy to like have a prenup to be defeated and in
Defeated
court.
prenup?
Yeah. People be saying this all the time. Like, and it's such it's such a lie because it's against public policy. Like, you can't just put something out there and everybody can just defeat it and overcome it and have a successful claim. Like, what's the point of it now? You know? So I think I would love to hear what your opinion is on like successful prenups. And
here's what I tell people about the prenup, because it might be maybe that you can make it void or have it not stand, but that isn't even the problem. The problem is that people think that they can, and then what that's going to do is that's going to drive up your litigation costs, which is going to put people in a position where you're going to be forced to like make a decision. So think about it like, if I have a prenup and then my strategy is to make you bankrupt. So you're not going to even fight the prenup because you have to do a case within a case. So you're going to have to figure out first, the first lawsuit is the prenup good? And then after we do all that, we're going to have a divorce. Then we're going to do a divorce case. So the prenup case, if it goes at full course, might take you in New Jersey, might be a whole year, depending on how long you're running and arguing on that. Then after you figure that out, then we can decide what's going to happen in the divorce. And I think that knowing the possibility of somebody arguing over it's not even about whether they win. You're going to spend all that money arguing over it. So sometimes they'll just say, you know what? I'm going to weigh my options. But that's strategy.
So basically, it's like, pick your poison. How do you want to lose? Do you want to lose now or do you want to lose over time?
Right. Or if you win, what did you win? Because it also depends on what the prenup says. Like, you're going to spend $50,000 and what were you going to get in the prenup?
Okay, so can you tell me your, like, I guess worst prenup case?
Well, I wouldn't say the worst one. The ones that you see a lot are folks who maybe came over to the United States from somewhere different, and English is not their first language. They might have been educated in another country, come here, and the whole thing becomes about whether they had knowledge or could enter into it the right way.
It's a very good point, though.
Yeah, I mean, I had one like
the
that.
passport
Oh, yeah,
bros?
we want to know.
Wait, so you had where was the passport bros?
The issue was whether or not the person who signed that prenup did it voluntarily and knowingly, and whether there was a full disclosure of the assets, because you have to have full disclosure to also make it enforceable. So if you don't speak English, you don't really know how the laws work here in the United States. Maybe you didn't have a lawyer officially and you entered into this. Well, maybe there could be some argument that it shouldn't be upheld.
So I have a question.
So wait, do you know somebody who lost? Like.
Well, they didn't finish it because the money ran out and they decided to do, you negotiate. It's a strategy. People, you get a prenup sometimes, not because you think it's going to hold. It's
and they'd
to
be like,
stick it to
"Wow,
'em.
men don't want to get married."
So the
Man.
prenup, before you get a prenup, you have to tell your partner all your assets and everything?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
And then in the prenup, all of that's going to be laid out.
What about like future like assets?
Well, unless you could make a determination what we're going to do with that. But if you don't, it's just going to be divided equitably under New Jersey law.
Do you do prenups?
I do. I say that hesitantly because for some clients, I won't do it, or potential clients, because if they come too close to the wedding date, or it just seems like one side is really, if I don't think it can be enforced, and it's going back to what you're saying there, if I really don't feel comfortable, I'm not going to do that because that's liability. That's that's the lawyer who won't be able to sleep at night because you're worried about whether that's going to uphold.
So you want to make sure okay.
Yep.
So when I get my prenup, I gotta go to you.
You don't want to rush it. You want there to be enough time for both sides to contemplate it.
About a year?
Well, it depends. Depends
I
on.
need time. I need real time. Like, this is my real life.
Well, because you don't want it to be considered like you're signing under duress. Like somebody run up to you the day of the wedding or the day before, and sign a prenup. You're like, what? I don't know what's going on, but I'm not supposed to get married tomorrow.
Yeah, like I was working with a client, and for maybe a couple months, and we were writing up the prenup. She's the one who kind of wanted it, and was really to protect her assets. She said, "I'm getting married, way out in a couple more months." So we're slowly doing it. Then all of a sudden, I call her, and she says, "I'm getting married in 2 days." So 2 days.
That's crazy.
I had to bow out. I'm not going to do the prenup because that's not enough time. And I said, well, why? She said, well, here we go. He decided we're going to buy a house together. And he's putting all the money down. And he said, I got to marry him before he does it. Yeah. Sounds crazy. It's true.
So a lot of this sounds like super strategic, and I'm curious as
This
to.
takes the love out of marriage.
You still believe in that?
There was love in marriage. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Well, she's the youngest, so you gotta.
Marriage is a business.
I'm a sap.
So I got to go into business.
So I would
Right.
like to know who files for divorce more than anybody else.
Women, most of the time.
Mm.
Women, the wife. And I wish I had a wonderful answers to why. I think women are just, to some degree, my opinion, they're more meticulous. They're the ones who are already keeping track of all the details in the house anyway. So they're more likely to be the one who is going to actually do the paperwork. I mean, that's my personal anecdotal opinion. I think men may want to, but they are less likely to actually initiate it. They just are.
I just think that women are the more emotional creatures, and we get fed up.
'Cause if I got my shit, I'm good.
They
That's
don't
how-
be happy though, because realistically, divorces are at a higher rate on the second, third, fourth, time.
That's true.
So are
That's
they
very
really
true.
happy, or are they just?
But why
still
would
trying
we
to-
be making that? And I'm saying we because I'm speaking for the woman. But why would we be making that kind of like rash decision based on not based on us and what we're feeling?
Well, I was actually watching this thing today, and it was actually pretty dope because the guy was saying how the divorce rates drop down dramatically when a man is making over $200,000 a year in comparison to all marriages. And men who make, I think, over 7 figures a year is 3 times more likely to cheat, and yet they have the lowest divorce rate.
Well, number one, he's never home.
Thank
So
you.
she's good. that's the first thing.
They also say that that's why they cheat too.
And I'm saying that in terms of why divorce. And they
Okay,
can
'cause
afford to
he's-
have.
Already
You
like
already
set up
do- you're
I'm
already
already by
separated.
myself, and I can have my own house, and you can have your own house, or we can live on the compound, and you can be down there. And I think the last part you mentioned about them cheating. I don't know. It's opportunity. It's opportunity and money, and it's
Nothing
just
but time and
it
opportunity.
goes along with it.
I feel like women don't care as much if you cheat if you make a certain amount of money.
And treat her right and respect to a certain degree.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
a certain. I'm not saying
Yeah.
obviously there's yes, giving
To a
with those
certain degree.
contexts. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like if you treat her decent, I should say.
Yeah, the bars is low.
Pretty low.
It gets low. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you start looking at like the bottom of your shoe as a look.
What do you? What are some of the like trends that you've seen for women in this whole stat? First of all, they be like, 90% of women. It's not 90%. It's like 67%. First of all, for like 2023, but like we'll say nearly 70% of women initiate a divorce. Do you see any particular like pattern among some of your recent divorces as to why women are just deciding to do it?
Well, yes. And I'm going to go back to something you said where you mentioned that making a hasty decision for divorce. I think women, it's not hasty. They've been festering on that for
Absolutely.
a long time before they even say to him or whoever that they're actually going to get the lawyer. So the process may seem like it went fast, but I think that they've already decided in their head a long time ago that they're done. And so the trends is kind of that. They're fed up. They've tried everything. They've told their partner, here are the things I need. Maybe they even tried therapy or some type of counseling. Didn't work. And they still aren't seeing the change. And maybe the kids are older. My personal experience is around 10. When the kids are around 10, I told somebody this. I looked at my cases. And one year I had my kid plays basketball. And like half the team, I think I'd helped them with the divorce of some sort on one side.
Wow.
And it's like this around 10 or 11 years old, you start to see families having tension. And I think that's one of the trends too, in terms of women. It might be because now the kids are older or they're more independent, and you're now able to look at yourself and say, all right, I'm not just child rearing. Let me figure out what I'm going to do.
So we've been talking a lot about the men.
Oh.
Like, what do you see as far as trends with respect to men who file for divorce?
If they're actually filing,
If
Because you don't get that a lot.
not as much. You know, they usually got somebody that pressured them because they've got another person. You know, there's pressure.
You better
You know,
leave
make
her.
yourself available
yep,
for the next. You know,
really love me, get a
Right.
divorce.
there's pressure on that.
But you know I love you.
Or the wife is overspending ridiculously.
Oh yeah, I know. I can
Overspending.
understand.
That's what they divorce for.
Overspend. When I mean, it would have to significantly overspending
Oh wow, that's interesting.
his money.
Yeah.
Like if it's a situation where he's the primary.
Their money. I'm
I
just
don't like
saying.
that laugh that you do.
I mean, because it is their money.
His
I'd be that guy. I would be that guy. Overspending would cause me to divorce you. Like, oh, you just don't care. Oh, hey, whoops.
And then the other part of it, no intimacy, no sex.
For the
So,
guy.
mhm.
So that's one of the main reason the guy will get
I
divorced.
won't say it's the main reason, but I see that's one of the things you see, or at least that's what they tell you. I don't. That's what, and the divorce attorney, that's what you hear. Not that it's a ground for divorce, and that they're saying that, but more or less there haven't been any intimacy, that no one does anything together. But usually the guy is thinking of it in terms of sex intimacy. The woman is thinking of it in terms of we don't do anything together anymore. We live separate lives. Yeah,
We don't do dates. Doesn't touch me.
Apple
Yeah.
picking is fun though.
He just comes home and goes right to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm
Doesn't
working all
ask me
day.
how's my day.
Fuck
Doesn't
your day,
touch
I'm
me.
working.
No intimacy or any of that.
Yo, this
Just kind of dies out.
Yeah.
Children are wonderful, but they bring stress into the relationship. And a lot of what you just described is what we see in families when they're children, because that children become the focal point. And then over time, when no one does anything about that, the child starts to get a little more independent when they get to that nice little upper elementary age. And now the parents are like, oh, we got to look at each other again because now Johnny can go play and I don't have to be attentive to the child as much. And now I don't like you anymore.
You want to hear something funny?
I'm not mad at
Where
that.
she lied
like,
at?
'cause that makes a lot of sense.
My
Like,
grandparents were married till till my grandfather died. Long time, I don't know, like 50, at least 50 years actually. And my grandfather has pretty much always been a truck driver. Then when he wasn't truck driving, he ended up being a diesel mechanic. Then when he retired from that, he went back on the road, just kind of like part-time or whatever. And so my grandmother, like when he was at the house, she was like, you can't be here that long. Like, I think they didn't really know how to like really be together every single day. You know, like maybe 3-4 days, my grandfather goes on the road or, X, Y, and Z. But when they were both retired, literally like at the house every day, it was an issue. And my grandma was a hell raiser. So I think that's what made my grandfather go out and get like a little
You
part-time
are your grandma
trucking
grandbaby.
job. What'd you say?
she said you got it from your grandma.
So,
I was
hell raiser.
first of all, I could imagine Erin saying something like that.
Like what?
You can't be here that long.
Erin
Did you
looks
think
so
about
lucky.
it?
I mean, if that's the case, to be honest, I would just remove myself. Like I wouldn't say that. But I'm just saying. I think a lot of people really aren't, and you said this earlier about COVID. We're not really used to like being around each other. People always ask me and my husband, you don't want to work at the family business? I'm like, no. I need my life with my friends, my family, with my own thing, because I think it would probably lead to resentment
Yeah.
or lead to like, because I don't have like we at work, we only talk about work. No, because if you didn't do something at the house last night, I'm gonna tell you at work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yo.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like bleed over, and I would not be willing to keep them separate.
Yeah.
Having your own life makes for a better divorce. coming from the divorce attorney.
Tell me. They tell
Not
us.
saying-
Let us
No,
know.
true. Because, like, what if you were a part of the family business and you guys did decide to
I'm
get a divorce?
They're working.
Well, God forbid, but
You're gonna be on
yeah,
high
it's
blood
gonna
pressure
be
pills and stress pills.
yeah,
There's too
it's
much
like
stress.
hard to separate. Now you always
No.
got to be around your ex-husband and his,
No.
you know, his family and his family business.
no. Oh, y'all. Oh, HR. Oh.
HR.
Okay.
Yeah. The truth is, when you get divorced, most of the time you're kind of living. You're going to separate that.
Yep.
There's some few people out there who really can kind of keep it together as a unit, and they're friendly, and everybody gets along, even their new partners. But that's not the
That's
norm.
cute.
That's so
Yeah,
weird to
that's
me.
very-
It is cute though. I
Me
do
and my
like
girl
it.
One time, my bad.
No, I think so. I think it's beautiful to see people coexist in the same.
that sounds
house.
stupid.
But why?
No, it don't sound stupid. It's real mature though.
Because, like, for example,
Go
right?
your own way.
Me and my girl, she's a Gemini. That's why she said this shit. Like, we got into a really big
Okay.
fight one time, and she was like, "All right, now we have kids together. We're not married, but." And we were talking about, all right, cool. Well, if we separate, how do we do this? And then she had the nerve to ask me. She was like, "Well, can we still do like Disney cruises as a family?" I said, "We are not a family once you are gone."
You are a family.
Wait, big
No,
fight on a what
you are
if?
an extension
You're a family.
of my child, but you are not my family. So like, and I can't, like, for me, I'm not doing that because I tell you what, I am going to bring my new girl around. I am not gonna want to be around you and your new man. So for me to understand that, like what you may want is not
Yeah.
doesn't make sense for both parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be damned if I had to take my sunglasses off. I want you to understand. I would be damned if I had a child with the woman and we were together and separated for whatever reason, and then I am on a Disney cruise with her and her new fiance with my child. That sounds psychotic to me.
What,
Not
What
really.
if you bring your girl with you? Your new
Yeah.
girl.
It's still psychotic. Why am I conjoining extended lives together?
Well, to
It
be
doesn't make
honest,
sense.
I just feel like new
Keep it
families
separated. I'm
will
not saying you gotta
create.
fight, but just like
No, but you can create boundaries and you can, talk about what you're okay with versus what you're not okay with. But I feel like being in a house, like, say, for example, you have your daughter and you got to go to your, her mom's crib to drop her off and, her new man is there. Like, it's nothing for you guys to be in the same room and say, hey, what's up? Tell them what went on at your house and what needs to happen with her throughout the week based on what you know. And you got to be able to communicate with, this, her mom.
I am not built for
Never understood
co-parenting.
that.
I'm telling you that
Oh,
right
wait, yeah, okay. And there you go. Segue, because she's you.
It's interesting because as a divorce attorney, everything you just said is kind of what I won't say you're taught to say, or what those are the things, the good things you're supposed
Poetic.
now. The bullshit.
It's poetic, but not
Yeah,
realistic.
thank you.
It can be.
to. But after I got divorced myself, I had a whole different perspective, and it really changed my approach on that. And the way I look at it is kind of where you're at. Just keep it separate, because if the other person, if no one has any new people, it's all fine. And I hear that a lot. It's like, oh, it's great. Co-parenting is wonderful. They came over to the house, like you said. Soon as there's a new love interest,
Talk about it.
it's all kind of hell.
They don't like that.
People start calling. There's a problem. Now we want to change.
Why is there an issue?
Now we want to
Why the
change the custody. Now we want to do change
Right.
parenting. I don't like him or her. Why are they with my child more than I am with my own child? Like,
Right.
so, I would just say it's harder. It's easy to say, but as
It's harder to live.
Oh my God, it's harder to live.
But why?
Because you looking at your.
I hate the other person.
Okay, well, I can.
Why?
I mean, some people just don't vibe.
Some people
But
some people are bitter.
Yeah, that's it.
Some people are bitter.
yeah, we can talk about
Some people are fucking bitter.
bitter baby mama, bitter baby daddy. And Rome done looked in the camera, so y'all know who
People
he.
are just bitter. Like, move the fuck on.
No,
saying,
no,
like-
it's definitely true. But Rome,
I'm just saying, get you a fucking man.
You need a
uh
little.
huh,
No,
uh-huh.
you say that, you gonna get them. Shit.
Rome is a daddy. Rome is a daddy.
No, I'm just saying, like, if your kid is fine, your kid don't come home hurt, and then like,
Is that the bar?
I'm just saying, your kid is. But think about it. If when this happens, I'm sorry, yo.
Clearly. Wait, take a break.
No, I don't need a break. When this happens, when people separate, right, and you have kids together, if you have a problem with how this person is still around your kid, then you would say something. You would say like, "Oh, they're police. This person's harming my child," but you don't say that. It comes home fine. Man gets a new wife, gets a new girlfriend, whatever. Now the kid's got all these problems, and you're a liar.
You
Because
just want drama.
there's competition.
There's
that
no
creates-
competition. I left you.
That's the way people feel.
Ooh, Rome, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. Let's move on. You go do you, and you're already bitter. You're gonna be bitter, all right? And yeah.
I like that. I like that. Talk that shit.
Just move on. Everybody moves on. Like, how long you gonna be stuck?
You
I
know
don't
what?
want you.
But I think that's
Some people
the
are stuck
thing.
and fight till the kid's 18.
But
No,
know what I just
honestly-
realized?
No.
I
Okay,
just
go ahead.
realized real quick, I just realized something. Just because we're separated doesn't mean we've moved on. And I think that's why it works.
That's true.
Once you see that I have moved on and progressed, that's when you understand we are now separated. But you don't understand separation when you still coming over and we still having family dinners every Saturday and Sunday. But when separation happens is when you're now have to respect different boundaries because of
Yep.
another person, another entity, whatever that
That's
may
why
be.
that has
No, yeah, because sometimes that's the environment with your baby daddy or your baby mama. Like, there's always some, like, still some kind of tension or still kind of, like, sexual involvement where you guys probably think that you guys might get back together, which is
No.
why always beware of people with kids. But, Rome, not you.
No.
Everybody but Rome.
Right. Literally. Say it.
I mean,
Everybody but Rome.
I've had some people get divorced, and they're the person they're still sleeping with the divorced person,
See, so it's like
married to somebody else. It happens.
right. So it's like when you get a new partner, like sometimes it just creates jealousy within the whole like dynamic now. And that's why you don't like the new girl, or that's why you don't want your kids spending too much time, or don't bring your girl or any girls around my
She
kid.
might cook
or,
better than me.
right. Or my
She
kid
do cook
may
better,
like
not
your
Mike.
food.
She
Like
do
your
cook
food.
better.
or my kid might actually like
Like
her
you.
and want to be over there all the time, and she might start calling her
Yes.
mommy. And that's not
that's-
your mommy.
And that's not your mommy.
That's problematic. Come on.
Yeah.
No, that is problematic.
If you a kid and you start calling somebody else mama, that's
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah, but
But they cheered Ciara on, and
like if you like I'm saying a man, like a man, I'm not gonna let you call who's not your mother. Like I'm gonna step in and let you call that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I'm keeping it separate. I'm sorry, I'm keeping it separate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my job to do that and say like, that's not your mother. You can't do that.
So this is my perspective.
Move
I'm
it
gonna
back
you're gonna have to
because I
call
think
him
That's why you're
S.
missing the mic.
You're gonna have to call my new girl SM.
No, you just
As in
talk about her
stepmom.
name. Or auntie.
Don't-
like the
I don't-
Jamaicans do.
No,
I
I
don't
think
like
it's just
that, like,
appropriate for you to
Don't call
the
my
new
girl
person.
auntie. Listen. I understand it. I am not your child's uncle, and you are not my child's auntie because we are fucking. You understand? And that's weird.
It's more of a no. I think like, and I just said this like for Caribbeans. I think it's more of like a respect thing.
It is a respect
It
thing,
ain't
but not in that scenario. Like if you're
I call my stepmama her name since I was a little.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
if
I
your
mean-
parents
Like
are
we
dating
friends.
someone, like, you'll
That's
typically
okay.
call them by their names. If you're, like, parents' friends, of course, you'll call them auntie or, somebody.
No, I know for a fact. Yeah, like you just say auntie, like the Caribbean. Well, maybe not your Caribbean, like the Caribbeans I know, like out of respect or a miss.
Yeah,
miss
but,
something.
like, not
You ain't gonna
someone
call
that
her
your
no.
parents are dating.
no, married. No, like the new
The new wife, the
the
stepmom.
new stepmother or stepfather. Like
Oh,
You
absolutely
do have to be
not. I don't
careful
know.
what your child calls that other person
Yeah.
from a legal standpoint, because
Really?
that will be one of the things asked. And if
I can see that.
and if the child is, as you would say, being allowed to call the other person mom or dad, and they're not the mom or dad, that's a strike against you. That kind of hurts you.
Really?
Is it because you're not making the distinction?
Right.
Okay.
What if I did something like Mima?
What?
That's like grandma.
That's
Listen.
grandma.
Yeah,
Is that
I'm-
Mima?
no, that's
your name is Lisa,
that is grandma, but like
call
I'm
that
trying to
lady
figure out a
Lisa.
different way
That's
as
it.
an
I
example.
don't know, but if I'm like 47 and you like 13, you not finna call me by my first name.
I am.
You're not.
I am.
Wait, time out. I got
I'm
lost
gonna tell
in
my
the
daddy
example.
I'm not calling that lady Auntie
I'll be
Erin.
like, cool. Just don't have her around when I'm here. That's all.
Okay.
Bye, little bitch.
Bye, Erin.
Bye, little bitch.
I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like, I just like I don't
Let my
see a
parents get
problem.
remarried. I'm giving them
particular-
bitches
that
hell.
right there actually is an issue in some of the custody battles because one parent is saying they can call someone else by their first name, and the other person says no, they have to use Miss, like put something in front of it, and that might be why they got divorced or they're not together anymore because they have different parenting
Oh,
styles.
yeah, sometimes it is
But-
conflicting against what the parents are telling
Yeah.
the child.
Like,
Wait,
we're not age mates.
can
You're not
we,
gonna call me by my first name.
Can we actually touch on that real quick? Because like I had this theory, and I was like, I really don't think that people should be married before they have kids. Like because like one of the hardest things to do is to accept the parenting style of somebody that you never knew was a parent. And like in my own relationship, it was a whole bunch of hurdles that we had to climb over to come to an agreement on how we're going to raise our children because we do it differently. And I can see that a lot of people, just from my experience, I'm not saying that it happens, but I can see it if a lot of people will then have a whole different type of like issue with each other because of the way that each other parents.
Oh yeah, that's a. I like what you said at the end. I'm not so sure I agree that you
beginning.
shouldn't be.
And not the premise.
You shouldn't be
Because I just don't understand. Like the thing is, you don't know somebody until you have that child.
That's true.
Like,
there needs to be some way to learn the parenting style. But I think in the new world, the modern world, we move different places. We don't know the whole history or know anything about that person, even just in a circular fashion. But I'm thinking about, I grew up in North Carolina, a small town. You might not have known, Steve or whoever, but I know all of Steve's family. Like, something about them to give you some semblance of
You know they not
maybe,
gentle parenting.
Yeah.
right, how they might go about things.
That's why practice. You guys gotta practice a little bit. You see when like couples like move in together before they get married or they
you get a
have
baby
kids.
doll? Get out of here, man.
No. And they call it playing house. Like, you come
So you
over
gotta
all the
do that.
time. Yeah, get a kid.
Up.
You got a little cousin. You got a
She's
little
still-
like bring them over so I see how you are with the kids.
That's
Like,
not
you know what I'm
reality,
saying?
though.
Wait, guys. I just want to make this. I just want to make this disclosure. Amanda still watches Disney.
What?
That's why she wants to play house.
So this is the
First
point
of
that I
all,
wanted to
everybody
make
knows those
earlier.
two movies, so please.
like, Rico, you said you're not family, and this is coming from
Wait,
my experience growing up with my parents, right? Regardless of whatever happened between them, when it came to me, both of them had to be there.
Yeah.
So my graduation, they're there. My wedding, they're there. My scholarship presentation, they're there. My debutante ball, they're there. Like whatever, and the things I knew the beef, whatever the beef was, they still had to figure out how to coexist because at the end of the day, they are family. If there was something that happened with me or something that happened with my mom, my dad's not gonna be like, oh man, fuck your mama. He gonna be like, so Erin, what do you need me to do? Because I understand it's your mama. Like that's like, a couple years ago, we had Thanksgiving at my grandma's house. I was like, Daddy, you wanna come over? My daddy was right there, probably 2 people down from my mama. Like at the end of the day, that's my mama, my daddy, and my grandma. So I can invite whoever the fuck I want to invite. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that you are family. Whether you choose to partake in it is different, but you're gonna miss out on something with respect to your child.
My sister, right? My sister.
You're welcome.
Well, you have a good family dynamic though.
I don't agree. Yeah, I'm about to say.
I don't think
Because who's grandma? I mean, well, your grandma, but who's mother?
it's my mama's mama.
And so you see, like, if they had beef, like, obviously your mom was okay with you inviting your dad, but maybe that wouldn't be the case for everybody. Like, this is my mama house. Don't invite your dad over here.
You all sound very civil
Well, the beef isn't.
Ain't-
because
It's not-
some families they would have been fighting.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
The beef is not between the grandparents or aunties and uncles or whatever.
Oh, I know.
Like I could literally be at my uncle's house in Houston right now. My dad's brother, we kicking it, having a drink, and he'd be like, "Where your mom at?" I'm like, "Oh, let me tell her to come over here." And my mom will go over to my dad's brother's house, and we'll all just be kicking it, having a good time. Because one, they've known each other since they were like, I don't know, in their 20s or whatever, And I guess they all have good relationships. Whatever beef is literally between my mom and my dad. It has nothing to do with my grandparents. Nobody
Yeah, but
else.
your family has been merged. Both families have already been merged. So that's why there's only beef with just them two. So if my family is separate from whomever's family, right? And me and her have beef, my family doesn't have any loyalty or any connections and ties to her and her family. So there's no reason for them to be blended anyways. Yeah. So
yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier about the fact that I think the world is different now. We are more nuclear than we used to be, and there's no history, there's no backstory. All of that just isn't there, and it's easier for families to separate or just fall out of it. They just fall out of it.
Kids involved?
Yeah, if you're civil, so then you add families that are got real problems.
Yeah.
Meaning, there's some that feel like, hey, you broke up with so-and-so and all of us are going to hate you. And we're going to make your life hell because, hey, you divorced the person, or maybe you cheated and everybody's mad about it.
Well, if you cheat on me and steal my money, my family better
You're
hate
still
you.
on that.
Yeah, my family better hate you.
How does it come down to
it's
the
my
kids?
side or hers.
Like,
I'll give you an example. My sister, right? Her and her son's father haven't been together for 10 years, right? They have a football game. She doesn't tell him about the football game because they're at such odds. He's married to another woman. She communicates to the other woman about what's going on.
I hate that, by the way. But
Yeah,
a woman.
Yeah, like
Because she don't fuck with her.
stepmom. Well, they both refuse to speak to each other.
I think if you're the parent,
you should
be the one communicating.
But that's also still being civil, and some people aren't civil.
And that shit is, but there's, and mind you, they've had a history of shit that they did to each other. So there's no coming back from it. So like, and their families, and it's weird too because like even for his birthday last year, right? Her son's birthday.
Okay.
We all went to, he had a birthday party at this big arcade space, right? And they rented out this whole hall, whatever. But half of the room was over here with the mom's family. Half of the room was over there with the dad's family. Nobody spoke to each other.
Surprised they didn't have 2 birthday parties.
I was like,
that's what happens a lot.
But seems like that makes the most sense, I guess.
no, the only reason why they didn't,
the
because I asked
child,
that
that's
question.
sad.
I was like, yo, there's still tension over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can feel it. It's not like it's cool. The kids still don't feel it because they already out in the playhouses and all this
Like,
extra.
where the tickets at?
Yeah, give me the card. It's
Right,
not
yeah,
like-
you're right. The card.
So, but like you can still see the two families are at odds, and realistically, it's like it's cheaper, right? Why have two
Right.
birthdays? We could just both put our money in. We could be cordial, but we are not gonna speak. Like we're not gonna do anything, and that's I think. And mind you, they're from the same area.
Different situations because your family's never blended. Well, their families
that was
never.
my- yeah, that's
Their
what I
families
wanted to
never blended, and they don't really know each other that well. So it's just like, okay, well, I'm here with him, so this is where he's at. This is where I'm at, and I'm here with her. So if this is where, is that how it is?
Nah, so the funny thing is, so we're all from the same town, and our town is small, right?
Cataracts?
No, it's well, first of all.
Wait.
One, it's Carteret. Two. No, so like where I'm originally from is Perth Amboy, right? So now that's where everybody in Perth Amboy is like blended. You damn near related, realistically. So now the thing is, yeah, because everybody is like, it's weird. The family was blended, right? Like they were cool, but the thing is, at the end of the day, when you tell your problems to your parents, your parents are, especially if they find it disrespectful or
They're
whatever.
invested now.
Yeah, now they're gonna hate just as much as you are, right? Now, if it wasn't a real problem, like let's just say me and her were just arguing about parenting skills, that's whatever. You get past it. But when it's like, oh, you did that to my son, oh, you did that to my daughter, or then you did this and then you did that, then the whole family's is like damn near about to fight. Yeah. You know what I mean? But obviously they don't. But that's why it's hard to be blended because realistically, I know as a father, if my daughter was married and she got divorced and she told me a list of things that this man did to my daughter, you think I'm about to be cool with this nigga?
I don't know.
I was just like, it's the respect thing.
Bro,
I think it.
my lawyer, first of all,
this
my
is a
daughter's
part
an
of my
Aries,
maturity.
right? My daughter is not going to be okay with me chilling with the ops, right? So like, and at some point, I'm not gonna cause. See, for me, I could want to hang out with you, right? And I might never have an issue with you.
Your little like junior best friend.
Yeah, but at the same time, when I have somebody who is my immediate family, especially, I'm not
She's
gonna.
not your immediate family.
No, I'm talking about like my sister. I mean,
okay.
my sister, my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be at odds with my blood that I really, really love just for a friendship that I desire. And I think like because that's something that is irreplaceable.
That's you.
Yeah, that's just me.
I
And
feel
I kind
like
of see that way, but I just
Because I'm a real OG though. You gotta
No,
understand.
that's
A lot of
that's
people ain't
like-
real OGs,
hold
Miss
on.
Fawn.
No, it is like a real strict loyalty, right? It's a real strict loyalty that Rico's talking about right now. But I feel like
not
there's
my
also a sense of maturity that it just says that like, no, you don't have to create a friendship, or if you did have a friendship with your daughter's now ex-husband or, you know, whatever, maybe that friendship won't continue, but it would be nothing for you guys to be in the same room and say, hey man, like, what's up? How's everything going? Like, that's just mature. You don't be like, all right, he did that to my daughter. I ain't fucking with him. I'm not going over there to him. It's just like a little bit mature. Just
You don't got a kid. But
no, it's not even. But I have sisters. I have aunties, and I've done this. I've done this. Like I ride really hard for my family, my sisters. Period. My aunt. First of all, I guess I'm like I was. It was just the way I was raised. I called my aunt by her first name just because she was so young when I was born. Right.
How many years?
That was doesn't matter because you gonna try to southern me talk about you supposed to call her auntie.
No, I'm not because I have a auntie who's 13 years older than me and I call her by her first name.
Okay, she's 19 years older than me.
she's your
But-
fucking aunt. Yeah, she's your.
That's why I was like,
she
it
was
doesn't
so
matter.
young when I was born.
It doesn't matter.
She was an adult.
Literally an adult. My in sixth grade or something.
Like,
Well, anyways,
What the
all of my mom's siblings, I treat like my siblings, like because they were all very young. They were. So my aunt, she had this boyfriend, and he was our neighbor, so he was very close, and we knew all the drama, whatever. And I used to be having her back, like, don't let him do that to you. Like, we not fucking with him. Like, I used to be like that. And mind you, I was only like 15 years old. Like, look at, she was to come for me so
she
bad.
was
So
15, she was in her 40s, 30s,
how old was she?
15.
I don't
She
know.
was 34 years old. She was 34 years old.
I don't think she needed you.
Yeah.
She didn't. She didn't. She did.
You better leave my auntie
No,
alone.
she did not need me, but that's just the type of person I was with my sisters as well. But it's like this day and age, I would not do that. Like, you got something going on with your baby father, like, I'll still see him because I do see him. We're neighbors, like, and I know his whole family. I will still say hello. I'm not on the same, like, you did that to my auntie, so
I
I'm
don't
not.
think that's
It's
not.
my family dynamic.
Yeah, but there's certain things that you're not coming back from. Like, for example, if somebody cheats on you, who the fuck cares, right? If somebody hits you and beat your child, you know, look at that way different.
But I think they're going to be in jail.
No, I mean, even
no, they're not.
And if
Like,
even
what
if
to say?
they're not,
no, I'm saying like,
Maybe, but
like I'm talking about an adult.
Oh.
Like, all right,
those are two different situations.
no, they're
though.
not. What I'm trying to say is that there is an extreme, and that's not even really an extreme because it's very common. Domestic violence is very common. So when you get into the realm of, oh, such and such put their hands on my daughter, or she tried to stab my son, and then it gets to a whole point where it's not being civil no more.
It's different, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you cheat on my son or you cheat on my daughter, all right, I can live on it. But when you start causing harm to my family, that's when everything changes, and that's when being civil is like out of the window. Now, you might be able to be mature enough to not respond,
No,
right?
but that's why I'm saying it's different. Like, cheating on somebody or like doing little tit for tats between y'all and y'all relationship, like, cool. You don't fuck with that person no more because y'all in this little tit for tat business, then fine. I'm still mature enough to say hello. But something as bad as you putting your hands on somebody, you stabbing somebody, like, that is an extreme.
That is
Everybody
normal.
is gonna want fucking blood if you're not in jail.
Like,
but it
domestic
is
violence
normal.
is very high.
It's prevalent. The other thing is that sometimes you're talking about siding with your family, your blood, but
What if they wrong?
well,
I ain't signing on
they
the
might
ones
not
that
be wrong, but sometimes those friendships on your end, where you said that the other families, they're friends or they hang out, that becomes a wedge because you've got maybe not literally, but my ex is friends with my family, and now it's like, am I in the family still? And like, everywhere I go, I got to see see this person there. Right.
You really?
It didn't happen to me.
People feel like that?
I actually
yeah.
have one of my friends.
yeah.
You actually met him. He had an issue with his friends and family because him and this one girl had a bunch of different things that they went through. They finally broke up, and they refused to stop bringing her around to family gatherings. So he started to not be around his family because they wanted to keep somebody that he felt uncomfortable
I
to
was
be around.
literally just
And-
thinking
and
that.
that's-
Like you were confused,
though.
but I would feel some type of way too because if I don't talk to this person and you guys still feel like he's family enough to still like have him around, maybe what if I get so uncomfortable that I don't want to come to the family events because if I know he's going to be in the same room, I'm not going to want to be there.
I guess you ain't gonna be there.
Not even about the no communication. Like I said, I have no problem with you guys talking to him when you
being
need
around.
to. It's about being around. So if you know that I don't fuck with him, right? Like let there be boundaries. Don't be inviting him to our family barbecues or to Thanksgiving. Like
Can they be texting him like every?
I don't think that's necessary too. Like you don't no, but like personal friendships, there's no reason to have a personal friendship. If you see him,
Well, so
Fuck
this
that.
is-
We all broke up. Like we all broke up. I don't
This
think
is the
y'all
problem
understand
with-
that.
Yes.
This is the problem with that. When you bring somebody around your family and you integrate them into your family, these people create, personal friendships and relationships with these people. And so it's very hard to require somebody to just totally, divest themselves of that. So
you see, like if you text him because you know he works in construction or something, or not construction. Who the fuck needs information about construction? But he's like
an electrician.
He's an electrician, and your homeboy.
Stop using my
wants
shit. First of all,
He's an electrician, and your homeboy needs an electrician to fix something in your house, and you're just like, oh well, my sister X-Man, do that. So like I'm gonna hit him up and blah blah blah. Like if you need him for anything, like you know him personally, so it's like you can hit him up. But like hitting him up to be like, yo, let's go catch a game on Friday. Like you don't need to do that.
let me tell you.
Yeah,
about
but that
my
shit never
family.
stops like that.
let me tell you about my family. So I think some lights when my grandma was still alive, like some lights needed to be replaced in the house. And I was like, my grandma's like, Erin, tell your daddy, because my dad's an electrician, like a real live electrician.
A real live one.
Yeah. Like with a license and shit. Like not Rico's made up, whatever. Yeah.
I don't know why they thought that was my career, but it's all right. Go ahead.
They didn't see it was chopped, and so my grandma be like, oh, can you call your dad? I'm like, yeah, let me call him. I'm like, Daddy, can you come over? When he was still like willing to do stuff at people's houses, I'm like, Daddy, you come over to my grandma's house to do X, Y, and Z, and he'd come. And if he couldn't come, he'd send like somebody that he trusted to go do the work. Like, I think that the fact that my parents like kind of were together, kind of like in early, like in their 20s, and I won't even say our families were integrated, but I would say that like if something happened to one of my uncles, my dad would go to the funeral. My dad was at both of my grandparents' funerals. I'm sure if his parents died, my mom would be at both of them. I just feel like there's a certain level of like, you know what? This is still my granddaughter and that's her daddy. This is still my granddaughter and that's her mama. So, and I know it was some drama that went on with them, and I think eventually everybody knew the drama, but I it's just hard.
Those are good goals. But we can say those are goals.
But I'm not even saying this in the sense that my parents are just so fucking involved. They're not.
Oh, I don't mean in a bad way. I'm saying actually that would be a good goal for divorcing families to aspire to, toward.
To be civil.
But it may take, first you got to first get the civility, and then just the time.
so
Time
interesting.
does
Yeah, I'm not
help
doing
a
it.
lot of things.
Like my grandmother, so
Yeah.
my mom and my father weren't together. And even though my father was absent, but I feel like the difference is my father was absent, but the rest of my family on his side was like, fuck that, we still gonna be here. So like my grandmother was still there,
That's very different.
right?
Yeah.
And like my aunt, my uncles, like they're my cousins, like my aunt's kids who are older, but like they're like my uncles and they were 19 years older than me.
And you called him uncle.
Actually, I call them by their name, but but like they all watched me and everything too. So like even though my dad wasn't there, his whole family was always there because my mom, first of all, had me by herself, like with nobody there. So when my grandmother was getting sick and everything on my dad's side, my mom was still visiting the nursing homes, and she still went to the funerals. She still kept in communication. She still talked to, that whole side of my family, even though her and my dad don't see eye to eye. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's only because they stepped up and they said, yo, forget whatever he's doing, we're still gonna be here. And I think that's how they were able to have like a civil way about going things, right? Which eventually probably helped my mother and my father get to a point where they can actually be cordial, But if they would have never did that, I know like type the way my mom is, my mom would have been like, I'm not going to none of their funerals or none of their situations. Yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's how I think too. Like, if I have no real strings attached to you, I'm not one of those empaths. I can't feel bad for something that I don't care for.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not a negative thing, but if let's say me and my wife divorced and I never got along with her brother, and we got kids, and her brother was to pass, I will not feel inclined to go.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. Now, I don't wish that upon anybody.
Right.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not for me. It wouldn't even move me. I'd send my condolences through a text, about as far as I'll go. Fawn Dyer?
Yes.
Right.
D-I or D-Y?
DY.
By the way, one of the great people that I've studied in my life that I talk to Marie about all the time is Wayne Dyer. Are you familiar with him?
I'm familiar with him.
He's a dope guy.
Are you related to him?
No.
No.
I like the way she said it. She's like, I'm familiar.
There's a lot of people say that.
Yeah. You got a great last name. Okay. Anywho.
That's my ex-husband's name.
Ooh.
Swear to God.
Wayne Dyer?
No, Dyer.
Oh, you kept it?
Yeah.
Wait, is he related to him?
No.
Okay, all right. Don't do that to me.
He's from Newark. Or are they from
He's from Newark?
Wait. You said it like she shouldn't have kept his name. I'm just curious.
Why you have to have like that energy? I'm just.
No.
She said, wait, hold on.
Wait, hold on. Time out. You know what? You did keep his name.
Yes.
Why?
Because we were married for 15 years.
And she's
We're almost 15.
known as Fawn
And-
Dyers now.
Exactly. I got married to him in law school. Like
so
during
your
that time.
degree actually said
So
Dyer.
I was already,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Dyers.
Although I considered
You are Dyers.
going back.
Yeah.
Considered it because you hate them that much. So you want to get
hate
rid of the
them that
name.
much.
You want to get
We
rid
gotta
of the
talk
name.
about your hatred.
My
But
grandma kept her name. She's been divorced for forever.
Then after a while, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it. It was primarily for professional reasons. But then I thought about it. My children have the name, so that kind of makes it easier in life. You'd be surprised how many times you get asked differently about
what they want to call you.
if just filling out insurance enrollments at your job. If the name doesn't match, now you have to add about 4 or 5 other pieces of information.
Or when you take
Damn,
your
you're
kids
right.
on vacation and they want to know why you don't
Why
have
is it
the same
different?
last name.
Yeah,
Going through customs.
because we live
Relax.
in America.
yeah.
Relax. So the question, we have a couple questions, right? Or
Okay.
a couple of different topics that we want to jump on. But the first one is about the misinformation that we probably hear on social media about divorce. What exactly about the misinformation on divorce? Like, what do you see?
I think what we all see right now is a lot of social media posts that talk about narcissism and related to
Love that
relationships
word.
and divorce. And I think in court, you really don't want to say that because the misinformation is, well, the alleged misinformation is that what they're telling you is it may not necessarily be true from a mental health professional standpoint. And so there's so much of it to the point that I was actually talking to someone and they were speaking about narcissism. And I'm like, I know exactly who you watch on. I could tell who they
Instagram,
watch
on TikTok.
because of the way they were talking.
Damn.
And so that's problematic. And it made me, it's funny you asked this question because I was thinking about it, that if I have a client and we're in court and you start testifying, you start sounding like the social media.
Damn, we gotta shut
That's a
down
problem.
social media.
So
I wonder how many people.
that's one of the big topics. I think that there's a lot of misinformation that's out there that people are relying on. I mean, but it gets the views. I mean, it's the other side of it.
It don't help in real life though.
Yeah.
No.
I wish somebody would say, "Hey, I tried that narcissist shit in court and it didn't work." Like, and then everybody would stop. They'll figure out a different word. Misogynist.
And it doesn't mean that, and I'm going to be clear here though. It doesn't mean that those quote unquote narcissists aren't doing some really bad stuff and they should be getting dragged around in court. They should be. It's just that you can't call it that. You're not the expert. So you have to just focus on what you see, what are the actual behaviors or whatever.
It's like, who are you to like label someone as a narcissist?
You can't diagnose somebody.
Right.
Is it a diagnosis?
I don't. I'm not that. Is it?
Well, no, she's in that space.
Yeah. Narcissistic personality disorder.
So-
And it'd be like, yo, you have a degree in communications. Trying to diagnose this man.
Like, I watch YouTube just like you.
Yes.
My therapist actually told me that.
Right.
Yeah, like,
There's a lot of relationship coaches and everybody on
did you guys see?
or social media.
I don't know if you mind putting your input, but if you don't, it's okay.
I don't mind.
If you saw the viral clips that's been going on recently with Tyrese's ex-wife.
Some of them.
Okay, so like I'm just gonna
Yeah.
give you a brief synopsis.
Oh, because she did mention.
So she got a divorce, obviously, with him. She had a lot of different people and other factors who were influencing her divorce, and then she said that the divorce was ultimately something that she didn't want to do, and if she was to be asked to do it all over again, would she? She opted out. So one of the questions that I want to ask is misinformation on social media, but also I guess wrong influential people that you listen to, even off of social media. Have you seen that be an impact on and off social media and some of the clients that you've had?
Yeah, and clients are just friends in life in general. I think your friend group, whatever you consider that group to be, they will definitely kind of push you. You have family members. I never liked that person, or it's really something else that their agenda. And it's hard. It's hard. I've been divorced, so I can say that there's always somebody who is pushing for you need to stop. You need to get out of that. But you have to really take a step back and think for yourself. Some people get back together. Some people don't.
I wanted to actually ask that question, but the people like that you had, two questions. The people that you've had, worked with, how often do you, one, see them get back together after you help them finish the divorce? And then the other question was, after they do make a divorce or do, go through with a divorce with the wrong influential factors in their ears, have they ever came back to you to say that they regretted it?
On the first one, there are a good number of people that get married again
A good number?
that I've seen. And I'm not saying I've done a whole lot of cases in my lifetime, but I've had a good number of people that get remarried.
Why?
And then some of them get divorced again.
Oh.
Damn.
I have one right now.
Yes.
We're doing the second divorce. So
Damn,
it
that
does
is so much money.
it does happen.
Wow.
And then in terms of the influential factors, I think the social media problem with divorce is that you're looking at social media and you don't know what state you're looking at. Family law is specific to each state.
Yeah.
So, if I'm talking to you and you live in Georgia, I'm not a Georgia attorney, but they have different laws in terms of how custody works. And from my understanding, to some degree, it might be that the mother has certain rights off the bat, whereas in New Jersey, that's not the case. So, and it's very different. And you might have Washington State, for example, where they're going to definitely have a 50-50 parenting plan, and then you're going to work backwards from there. Like they're going to, have it that way. So I think the misinformation is that you don't really know who you're looking at in terms of unless you really read or if the person says it directly. And just in our lives, I think we take information, but we don't know what we don't know. And you don't know that that state, it doesn't apply here. So you say, well, I got divorced and I got half. Well, maybe you're in a community property state, but maybe here you're not in this state. You're going to get something different.
Have you ever had a situation where there's two pets and one gets one pet, the other gets the other pet, or
Oh yeah.
pets go?
Oh, we had the plan. You got to have a plan. You can have a back and forth.
Wait, you had a
We
shared
love pets.
you had
We
a
love
shared
pets.
pet custody battle?
Yes.
Did you lose your dog?
And sometimes we write it in there with the
I
child.
know a couple not married who's doing that.
I'm not gonna lie.
share their
I don't give. I'm not losing my dog for nobody. Like, you
But
get-
but seriously though, I mean, it really
about that.
it'll be in there because sometimes because the children, so that
they
they
will.
have the pet, so then you have to write it in there because maybe one parent's I'm not bringing that pet, I'm not gonna. So you put it in that okay, when the children go, the pet goes, and then I had one where we made a plan for exactly who was going to pay for the pet expenses going forward, and I don't
Who
have a
has the
pet.
pet?
I had one with the first marriage, and that didn't work out.
Are you still married?
No.
Oh, so you divorced twice?
Yeah.
Were they similar?
she said, "Yeah." Wait, they're the same person.
No.
Were they the same person in a different
That's a
body?
good question, though.
Were they similar?
Say that again.
Were they the same person in a different
were
body?
You the divorce
Actually, no.
married?
Were they-
divorced?
One was a Libra, one was an Aries.
Same person.
None were, none were Sagittarius.
Right.
Yeah.
She said no.
And being a divorce attorney, would you get married again?
I never say never, because lawyers never say never. We don't speak in absolutes. But I don't know. I don't think so. I think, first of all, I don't want to share anything else with anybody. They say it financially or anything.
You want a little friend?
I don't want to.
You
kind
want a
of.
pet?
Because
That's what a pet. That's what a pet is to me.
yeah,
A
because
little friend?
A little friendly pet.
yeah, because after you start living on your own by yourself again, you're comfortable. At first it was odd because it's like, all right, maybe
House
I
is
need
quiet.
I need someone here. You've been living with someone, another adult. You got the kids there, but you're with another adult for a long time. But after a while, it's like, no, I don't really want to negotiate my space. I don't want to negotiate how the kitchen looks. If I don't want to do this, I just want to be able to do what I want to do. So I don't think so. And also the experience of it, it's hard to trust people. And then when you see all day long, people are
You definitely see it all.
there.
What was the reason for your first and second divorce, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, well, the first one, we were young, like right out of college, 21. Like,
Oh, super
Yeah,
young.
yeah. so part of that was just
That's when I thought I
young,
was going to get married.
haven't really experienced life.
Disney.
You kind of go your separate ways. But the thing that triggered it was the dog.
What?
Dog?
Yeah.
Wow.
We had this little dog, and
Petty.
For
we
a
were
pet.
young.
For a pet. Yeah. Go ahead.
The dog did something. I don't know. And I was like, we gotta have to get this dog out of here. I think he messed all over, whatever. So anyway, my other person took the dog away. And I was really upset about that.
What do
That
you mean
was
by took him away?
took it away.
What that mean?
They put him to bed?
Oh, I don't know. I never saw a dog again.
What?
Well, you asked for it.
The ex. The first ex.
The first
Yeah.
husband, her first husband.
She don't even want to refer to
Yeah.
him.
Well, no, we're friendly. We're friendly.
Now,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
he got rid of the pet, and then,
So you were like, I wasn't really being serious. Where's my dog?
Pretty much.
yo, women are crazy. Y'all don't understand this?
Pretty much. It was my
Like,
dog.
this is my daylight.
It was your dog.
How you gonna
I
kill
mean, we
my
bought it
dog?
together, but it was mine. Like it was really
She
mine.
didn't want the dog.
All right.
there.
So there was
Whoever gave most of the care.
So there was
Yeah.
no like confirmation to get rid of the dog. You know when you
He
want to
confirmed
delete
it.
No, but you know when you want to delete something and then something pops up and says,
Right.
"Are you sure?"
Right.
You want
There
to
was
delete
no, are
this?
you sure?
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, don't say shit that you don't mean. Okay, time out.
At the moment, she likely meant it.
You said that after that,
Mm-hmm.
he got rid of the dog, and then what happened?
I think that was in the fall, and by April, when I got that bonus check, moved out.
So you was pissed for 6 months.
Yes.
So that was just the starting of
that
all
was
of
kind of the thing, it was building. So then that's kind of like the
Came with that book.
Yeah.
And this nigga got rid of my dog.
Well, I didn't call him that, but you know.
No, that's okay. I'd
I'd
say that.
The dog? A dog was 15 years?
No.
No.
it was your first marriage.
We were only
Oh.
we were young. We were in our 20s.
So wait, how long did the
okay.
marriage last though?
Technically 6 years.
Okay.
I only say that because back then you had in New Jersey, you couldn't get divorced as easy as you can now. So you had to be separated for
A year
18
apart.
months.
Oh, a year and a
You had
half.
to live you had unless you had some other reason, and we didn't have any of those reasons.
Jesus
So
My dog.
yeah.
Miss
Got it. All right. And juveniles.
But I
What
say
is-
that, but time went by. We're friendly.
I would hope.
We still talk.
Fucking dog.
You know.
Is
You, and I know, listen, and
I
I
don't know where the dog
Miss
is.
Ever
Fawn-
told you?
He been gone.
Exactly.
Wait, time out.
Yeah,
Be
but
honest.
why
Be
didn't he
honest.
tell
hold
you
on,
where
hold
it
on,
was,
hold on,
though?
hold on, Fawn. Don't lie to me now, because I know you. Did y'all ever double back?
No.
Not even a little bit.
No.
Not even-
Not even enough.
Yeah.
No.
She was
Not even
waiting
that you
to
wanna
leave
treat-
after that dog was
Nope.
gone.
All
Child,
right.
please.
Y'all just became friends recently?
Yeah. And
I give
recently.
it 3 years. Next divorce. What happened?
Well, that one isn't as pleasant.
We got it.
Yeah. It was a knockdown, drag out, total, everything you think negative about the divorce process.
Damn.
Happened.
Did you do
How
it?
How
was
long
he a
did it
lawyer?
take?
No.
Oh, I hope did you clean his clock? Because I'm saying you
What do you
have
mean?
like,
Wait, what does that mean? Clean his
his
clock.
You know I'm old now.
Clean his clock.
I mean,
mean,
we don't know
like,
either.
Did you go in?
Squares.
Like, did you?
Like, fuck him up?
Yeah.
As it,
Y'all are so...
I feel like you have so much insight as to like strategy.
Well, here's what one would say: why be careful if you're going to divorce the family lawyer?
hmm
oh shit.
I mean, that's
Right.
You should be
That's
careful.
what I'm asking. Right.
You know the judge.
well, not even that. It's just certain things.
And the
certain
judge.
things. But to answer your question more pointedly, and I won't make it a downer, but it was a domestic violence reason,
Oh, okay.
which
Gotcha.
is, which is a domestic
DV.
violence reason. One of the most prevalent types of DV is strangulation, and nobody talks about it as much as they should. But women, particularly, not just women, but women particularly are at the hands of that a lot, and it doesn't get.
Right.
There's a lot of it. A lot of times there's no documentation. There's no proof, and it doesn't get reported. But it is the number one predictor of homicide
Yep.
by that intimate partner, because of, if you can look it up, then what is it, the National Strangulation Institute, Training Institute. And so a couple years ago, I guess it was Governor Murphy, he changed the law, not he, but he signed it into a law where it made strangulation, aggravated assault by strangulation now is a second degree crime in New Jersey as opposed to a third degree crime. Because can't speak about my case, but in general, if you had a third degree and you did that, and it was your first offense because you never got caught, then you could get PTI, pretrial,
Mention.
and do a little probation for a couple years and go about your life. And nobody will, ever know
To the second time.
until you do it again, because you will do it again. So, not you, but
No.
no, he will. But I say that because it doesn't get a lot of discussion, and there are a lot of professionals in the family court world or in child protection world. But I won't say they don't know about it, but I think it's minimized how serious it is, and how I didn't come with the stats, but it only takes about a small amount of pressure on someone's neck, and in a short amount of time they could be dead. Literally, like in several seconds, if it's the right positioning. And people don't know that. And so the thing that prompted the law change was there was a woman in New Jersey, I don't remember the name, but the exact same thing happened. He got PTI, and then he went, kidnapped the kid, drove down south somewhere. They found, basically he ended up killing her. And that's what was one of the things that prompted this law change. So now it's much more difficult. You just can't get it thrown off as a PTI because it's so dangerous. And my own personal opinion, and when you look at stats, strangulation it's a crime of passion. Like there's it connects a lot with the sexualness. I'm not promoting, I'm just saying. And there's some people, that they're getting off on that. That's how, you watch the CSI, all those different shows, you'll see in those sexual assault ones, the strangulation, the actual completion of it would be death. So a lot of the times that you just go punch somebody. Your first go-to move is not strangling somebody. That's not your first go. And if it is, that's a problem. And I think in family court and what I do, clients don't know that. Like that's not normal. That if the first thing they do, instead of punching you, not saying punching is good, but I'm just putting it to you. You didn't get punched, but you got choked 3 times, or you got strangled, which is the technical term. They don't realize how significant it is. And in full disclosure, I, as a full practicing attorney at the time, had a DV person at the police station who told me that and showed me the wheel. And it was only then when she said, you want to go look in the mirror and look at your neck, that I fully understood what kind of danger was there. I'm going to be cautious about what I say. It happened very fast, very flip. Like it literally was, person just,
I can see that though.
I came in, you say a few words and next thing you know,
boom.
I can see that.
And that was, okay, so once that moment happened, how long did it take for you to exit out of that situation or exit out of that marriage?
We had never lived together or did anything from that day forward.
Oh, that was it.
That's good.
How much more you need?
Yeah, that's
No,
no,
that's what I'm
because
saying, like, that was
a lot
it.
of people, I mean, especially like marriage,
Well-
they'll try to okay, it
you're
was just
right.
one time or
That's a statistic too. It takes a lot of times for someone to move out or move on for various reasons. And in my situation, that was the worst, but it wasn't the first.
got it. So then
Like no more.
now I understand the hate.
And this is who you have your kids with.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Now, how would you feel if your brother, sister, or siblings was like kikiing and ha 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 and with this person?
She said it earlier. She's
Yeah,
like, she ain't with it.
She not with that.
But thank you.
But she was really strict about that. But she knows why. And I did say it was circumstantial. Domestic violence is extreme. Everybody's going to want blood after that. Nobody's going to kiki with you. I said
Well, that's, you would be very surprised.
Really?
Because not necessarily my family members,
Yeah.
but mutual friends. So you're with someone a long time and you've got these mutual friends that are your children, call them auntie and whatever, those kind of friends. Majority of them took his side.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you talk to them?
Despite documentation.
Men and women?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They could have been going through their own thing though. Like, not making excuses for
No,
them, but
because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, it's like something that happened to them, and
Maybe they were the same type of person.
Are these are these friends still in your life?
Not my life. I mean, I know where they are. No, there's no bad blood like that, but, I keep you there. I stay over here.
Yeah.
We do my, yeah.
My thing. My thing.
shit. Back to the pets.
That's
So-
why I said I didn't want it to be a downer.
It wasn't a downer. It's very insightful.
It is.
To be honest. And I think it needs to be talked about more often only because just because we know something, and I feel like a lot of times we get to a point where we know something is exists, but we just hear about it, but we don't hear about it. So like we kind of just brush it off as, oh, it's an extreme or, oh, it's not normal. But then when we actually understand the severity of it, then it allows everybody to have more awareness of the situation. You know,
Not
and
just
going
a what
forward.
if.
Yeah, not just the what if.
It's a literal like thing that happened, you know.
Yep. And you know, I don't want to put my business out there, but I had a situation like that this summer with one of my immediate family members, which caused me to go a little berserk, right? But the part that pissed me off was that after this person put their hands on you,
Back.
you went right back.
Yeah.
And now it's like, and then
That
it's like,
happens.
and that's the worst part, because it's like, you know, how do you protect somebody who's willing to put themselves at danger again? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And even in my professional world, when clients come in like that, I know, because I've experienced it, they have to be ready, and they have to really be ready.
Like ready to like make a move.
Right.
Believe, yeah.
And in a safe way, you know, but they have to have it in their head that they're ready to do it. Because if not, you're going to think about it. I mean, there's things to consider. I mean, you got children. Just because the other person, male or woman, did whatever they did doesn't mean you're going to get the kids.
Yeah.
So, in fact, most of the abusers are the ones who are going to look for sole custody. They're going to fight you harder because their mindset. You know, they're going to fight harder. Whereas most civil folks are thinking about a joint custodial arrangement. So,
Yeah, not me.
a lot of folks worry about, they won't leave because they're not sure they're going to win in a custody battle. And to be honest, I don't have the stats, but you can Google it or whatever. There's good reason for why they should be concerned about that. Because if the other person presents well in court and you don't have a whole lot of other hard evidence, you know, it's tough. Doesn't mean they're going to get. And then now you've got to live with your child going to the home and living in a home with an abuser, and you're not there because now you're separated, as opposed to being in the same home and you can kind of
an
see
eye
what's
out.
going on.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons people stay longer than they should. But I will say, I'll say one positive thing is that about that, despite all that, there have been times where, you know, he and I can talk cordially. You know, it's not, I mean, and it took a while to get past that. I'm not saying we're not going back, we're not doing this, whatever, but it's not as adversarial as it was at the beginning. That's why I said, when I said time does help, because at the end of the day, you're the parent, you're still the parent. You only get one set of parents, you know, biological parents at least. So you do have to, at some point, be able to, I'll use the internet word, heal. You still need to be able to heal.
Internet word.
Because everybody's talking about healing.
Yo.
Healing
No, it's us. We need. No, I'm saying like it's us. Like we do need healing.
You know, everyone's talking about. But when you get to that place, and it's where you, like, it's kind of what you were talking about before. Well, I know I'm not going there. I don't have to worry about going back. Like you've totally separated. I think it's easier to have a conversation and maybe be able to
Be cordial.
you know, be cordial.
Have you ever had a situation? Now, I'm only asking this. This is extreme, but this is one of my all-time favorite movies. Have you ever had a situation like the movie Enough with Jennifer Lopez, and the guy was just so overwhelming because he had everything in his back pocket between the cops and judges and, you know, everything, like even to a point where he was quote unquote gonna set her up. Like, have you ever ran into a woman or a man who was, you know, involved with somebody or married to somebody who literally was in the powerful position or had the resources of those in powerful positions?
Yes, and yes.
Yes.
And they don't even have to be as powerful as that in that movie. Like, just give you some random example. You know, if you can't find the body cam from when you got choked out at the police, I'm just saying, I'm giving you
Yeah,
some random examples.
crazy.
You can't really, you know, all of a sudden it's just not there because people have friends. So that happens. Stuff just disappears.
What have you seen? And I know we have to probably wrap soon, but like, what have you seen as far as, because this is a huge topic on social media? as far as the ability for fathers to get custody in the state of New Jersey. Because a lot of times we hear about fathers, they can't get custody. They just throw custody to mom regardless. Like, what are some of the trends you've seen? And I would love to know, like, how many fathers, really like step in and like try to fight to have their kids.
Yeah. So that is a trend I see on the internet a lot. But I don't think it applies to Jersey. I think
in a lot of states.
I think it's other states where women, mothers, especially for younger children, have a little more rights.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm seeing it in all ways. Fathers are getting custody just as much as the women are. And I've represented, all sides. And I'm saying this also, even in domestic violence cases. I do both sides of the case because I'm advocating. But for fathers, I haven't seen any trend. I haven't seen the trend that's on the internet.